Hello, everyone. Welcome to Championship Day. Uh, Let me just post the link. But I'll let you talk a bit.
Yeah, so tonight we have made it to our championship night of season 1, which, it really doesn't seem like that long ago that we kicked off the season with a few practice races and then jumped right into the season. And now all of a sudden we have 3 full slates of drivers, and then SK that has a few in there that are going to finish up their shortened season for the season.
Absolutely. So, yeah, everyone, welcome to Championship Day. This is going to be quite interesting. And we do have a third person to join us in Red Cape Diver. Hello.
Perfect.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
So as soon as Wally, you go live in Discord, we're going to be able to get things underway. But yeah, few championship battles here and there tonight. Last race of the season, going down to the wire for supercarts for Formula 3. Formula 2 is settled, and Formula 1 is also going to be a big showdown. So,
We'll talk more about Formula 1 when we get closer there, but I think it's going to be a little less dramatic than we think.
Going into supercarts, let's talk about it real quick. We are looking at a battle between Miguel Duhamel and Mark Martin. 9 points separate them. No one else in supercart can actually go for the championship. Mini Driver does have third place secured. Caleb Hayden, our latecomer, does have fourth place secured out of 4. So yeah, Mark Martin versus Miguel Duhamel.
And we're going to jump right into it tonight. So SKs are at India, and let's just roll right in.
Oh, that is a very cute symmetrical circuit.
It was like baby's first go-karting track.
That middle sector looks very slow.
Yeah, not a lot of top speed here.
I believe it is a reaction track. But, yeah. So, Caleb Hayden takes the pole position. Our championship leader, Duhamel, in second. So, very good for him. Well positioned for a championship there.
Yeah, and real close laps by them. I think it was like 2/200ths of a second that separated them.
Absolutely. Martin in 11th and Driver in 12th.
Yep. So 1 and 2 and 11 and 12 for our user drivers.
Let's get into the finale for SK for the season 1.
And they are off. Hayden with a very good start will hold on to first place, but Duhamel challenges him and has the inside on one corner, but the track goes the other way, so Hayden will hold on as they cross the first lap. We check, Martin is fighting in that 10, 11, 12 battle further down the field. It's important for these drivers not to hit one another. So Duhamel is now in the lead. Bit of a fight there right behind them as there's a pack of 5 running 3 wide.
Yeah, there are 2 leaders are getting a little bit of a gap. Actually, quite a bit of damage going on those second pack of drivers. We don't often see pits in karting, but we might have them repair some damage.
Very possible. Also, remember that this is we had a new update on the sim engine, so they might just decide to not go in. Who knows?
Hayden's really fighting for this lead. Watching him trying to maneuver there around Duhamel.
Hayden really wants his first win. That'll be good for him going into next season. Which I believe he might be able to hop into Formula 3 next season.
Yeah, definitely lots of spots opening up as we have teams signing their contract extensions towards the next season or two.
We see a few cars there really damaged.
Yeah, I think that was L. Smith down there has lost quite a few places, kicking up a lot of smoke. Actually, a lot of drivers there in 4th, 5th, 6th all have worn out, but yeah, here we are in the last lap, last corner actually, and
Hayden wins the race, but Duhamel, with his second place, will take the Supercar Championship.
Yeah, so they will both be celebrating this one.
Martin will come in 8th place, still scoring points, but less than the one ahead of you, you're not going to win it.
So yeah, so for obviously Hayden there with the win, and I know secured that fast lap there on the second to last lap of the race. Duhamel in second, other users, as Zune mentioned, Martin in 8th, and then Driver finishing up in 13th.
Can you go back up? I made a mistake. I didn't manage to get the screenshot for our race results. Thank you. Go down. Thank you very much. And yeah, that is Supercards done for the season.
All right, so I am going to get the F3 field ready, and we should be ready to go in a minute here. So if you guys wanted to talk about this chaos of standings about to unfold.
Yes, I think our closest series with let's see, mathematically, someone can score 27 points.
We have technically 5 drivers in the running for the championship. Remember that this is a reaction track, which we haven't seen at all so far in Formula 3 since it started 2 races behind everyone else.
Oh, very true. I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah. So this is the first and only reaction track for them. So it'll be interested to see who has put any TP in it.
Let's see, the highest one in there is Fillmore Carlin for F3, followed by Maratexel von Salinar. 2 people towards the bottom of the standings. I believe they joined late. Actually, no, they've been here at least since Great Britain, but haven't scored high in the points, so they could here to jump up. The Lady Driver is actually pretty good in reaction as well. They're in 5th in the standings, so she could jump up, depending on the results of everyone else, to take the championship.
Yeah, but to quickly go over the standings, Chester Curd leads with 110 points, 6 points behind Tess Simmer at 104. Mark Muller is 15 points back at 95. Scott Pilgrim, 22 points back at 88. And Lady Driver, 24 points back at 86. So, again, Scott Pilgrim and Lady Driver, very much an outside chance. Mark Muller, I would say, needs things to go his way. And Chester Curd, Testimer just have to make sure that one finishes ahead of the other. And that scores them by 6 points.
Yeah, I think looking at ratings and where the standings are, if I were to put money on it, I don't want to cast or jinx them before even qualifying. But I think Tess Simmer is sitting real well. Has a good chance at this.
Yeah, I would agree with you too. When I was going through and applying all the updates for this track tonight, he definitely looks like, attribute-wise, he's in the driver's seat. It's just a matter of, as we see all the time, these tracks can definitely surprise us. I know this one is a workshop track, so it is not a stock. So I'm sure we're going to get a couple surprises throughout the night in regards to driver craft, let's say, and not hitting walls.
Ooh, I love to hear walls
But
being around.
in saying that, the changes for tonight are the damage is turned to low. For that reason alone, in testing for it, that was moved to low because they will accumulate some decent damage even on the low setting. Other than that, not many other changes for the night. It's going to be dry all night long here, and I think we are ready to get going for qualifying here for the season finale for F3.
And let us start. Let's see what fate has in store. Let us see the circuit. So this is based off the Jeddah circuit, which is a very fast circuit and full of little zigzags. And right off the bat, we see Fillmore Carlin be right up there. As you said, probably the highest reaction one in Formula 3. But Bushlight and Driver are up there as well with some pretty good times, I suppose. In fact, that's your top three: Carlin, Bushlight, Driver.
Yep, and following them we have Johnson, Von Salinar, Mamiya, Simmer, Fox, Angelic, and Muller. So three of our top five in the standings, and then in 11th is Alexander, followed by Pilgrim, Splits, Mouse, Toast, I Go Quick, Savage, Oslins, Kurd, and Pablo. So we see Kurd and Pilgrim there down in the bottom 10. Kurd's going to have a lot of work to do if he wants to win this championship down there in 19th.
Absolutely, and Pilgrim being that far back, he needs basically a win to win the championship. So,
yep,
not the best qualifying for him.
Not at all. I mean, you're going to have Kurd there, and his main goal here is basically going to be limiting damage in this points race, because with the qualifying there, what his goal essentially should be is to finish maybe 7th, 8th, 9th, and hoping that that drivers like Simmer really stay in that 5th, 6th range to avoid losing the points total.
Yep, and we're all sunny here in Saudi Arabia, so there's no weather possibilities to shake things up, so it's all down to
we've
the drivers.
Eliminated one curveball for the night.
Yes.
All right, guys. I think we're ready here for the race and for the finale for F3. Here we go.
The lights go on, the lights go off, and they're racing in Saudi. So Carlin will hold first place, whereas Bushlight and Driver right behind him are going to try and push him. But coming at the hairpin at the moment, those three have a little bit of a gap to the rest of the guys. But Simmer is now up into 4th. That is very good for the Volkswagen driver.
Yep, and Bushlight has gotten past Carlin as his driver. Bushlight going for the soft tires, whereas Driver and Carlin are on the mediums.
Yep. And as we said, Driver is now in the lead, but is followed by Simmer. Simmer really up there at the moment. Simmer would be your Formula 3 champion. Simmer is using a lot of turbo to try and keep up with Driver, and is actually putting a move in on the long back straight, and will take the inside corner to take the lead. Those soft tires that Simmer is on are putting on a lot of work. Driver on the medium tires is struggling to keep up at the moment.
Yeah, and with 15 laps, I think 2 back-to-back soft tires is probably the quickest strategy. Maybe the mediums to softs, depending on how long people stay out on those softs, and the mediums can catch back up. But my guess would be that 2 softs are.
Our pole sitter, Carlin, is now climbing back up. I guess his medium tires of his have finally warmed up. It's starting to mount a bit of a challenge. Simmer is being basically hunted down by a group of Carlin, Driver, and Busch Light. Von Salinar a bit further back, trying to rejoin the pack.
Yeah, Von Salinar bold on those hard tires. He's going to be trying going pretty late into this race, maybe even not stopping. But as we've seen throughout this season, I don't think that's a very wise strategy, as the new tires have just insane pace in them.
Absolutely. And, while we were talking, there's a new change in the front. Carlin is now in the lead, followed by Driver. Simmer and Von Salinar follow, and Busch Light has dropped back down to 5th.
You know what is another interesting point here is that this is, I don't think I can remember a race here where mediums have really kicked in like they have, and made as big as differences as what they are right now, and coming up, getting by Simmer, and these two just have gone.
Yeah, and I wonder if we're going to see the same thing once the hards kick in. Because at the moment, Carlin and Driver have just put a big break. But now Salinar has passed Simmer in there for 3rd place as they both try and turbo. To stay in front of one another.
Yeah, and Busch Light has dropped back quite a bit as well. He was leading the race at one point. He's down at 6th now.
Yeah, being overtaken by Alexander. Alexander is on softs as well, though, so maybe Busch Light has pushed a little bit too much those softs early on.
Yeah, Simmer's still staying in it, though. He's not. He's less than a second behind. And he does come.
Simmer goes in. I believe our soft tire runners are all going to come in now.
Yep, and they're going back out onto another set of softs. So we'll see if that's the better strategy, or if these medium runners can. They'll get a fresher set of softs in another lap or two.
If I was on mediums and hards right here, seeing how fast those softs are to start, I would almost go in and take some tires right now.
Yep, you get 1 extra lap of freshness, but looks like they will go at least 1 more.
Yeah.
How are the hards looking like on Von Salinar? Yeah, I think potentially they also need to go into the pits for some fresh sets. But at the moment, the gap the top 3 have on the rest is not insignificant. But Carlin continues to push on ahead over the 2 Moladras of Driver and Von Salinar. I believe they're Moladras. At least they're using the Moladra skin.
And it looks like Simmer has been held back by Johnson here. That's why it didn't catch up, though he does get ahead of Carlin. As Carlin pits, Driver is still out for another lap.
Yeah, and the more important is what's the gap like between Driver and Simmer?
About 4.5 seconds another.
As
Driver
both go in, and we'll probably put on those softs. Driver will come back behind Carlin, and Von Salinar will fit in right behind that, blocking Alexander's charge up the field.
Yep, and now we have 4 laps. Carlin and Driver both on newer softs than Simmer.
Yeah. But Simmer doesn't need the win. Simmer just needs to be ahead of Kurd, and Kurd is way back in 18th.
Yeah, Kurd has not done what he is needed to do to get points today.
As we see him come out of the pits and about to be lapped by Carlin, actually. This is very good by our Alpine driver up front, who is going to get a good haul of points down there. Around that 30 points, 55 points is going to bring him just around like 10th place, after everyone gets points. So nice big jump up the standings.
Yep, as we see Carlin and Driver both closing in on Simmer for the win. A race win is still good, even if Simmer only needs probably 4th or 5th, I think, to secure the championship. But another race win under the belt is still good. As we see Carlin come up onto his rear and pass him on the inside as well as the 2 back markers. That was a great move by Carlin. As we have 2 laps remaining as soon as they cross the line.
Yeah. So you got Carlin, Simmer, and Driver up there at the front. Driver with a great line there, hiding behind those 2 lapped cars to get past Simmer, and now challenging Carlin for first in the race.
Yep, and Driver does get past Carlin there, at the same place where Carlin passed Simmer last lap.
Mm-hmm.
And they turn onto the main straight for our final lap. Just less than half a second between Driver and Carlin. Simmer's still back there if they make a mistake. As I say that, Simmer goes into the wall and slows down.
Yeah, and I made a mistake earlier by calling it Molaja, since that's the skin, but it's actually Hot Wheels Racing. We'll make sure that next season every tier has the same color scheme. That's going to help us.
Carlin going on the inside of Driver here in the final corner. It's now a drag race to the line, and I think it's Carlin that gets the win. It is by 0.02 seconds. And Simmer is in third.
I believe that's enough for Simmer, though. Simmer will become your inaugural Season 1 Formula 3 champion with this result.
Yep, so there's our podium. Von Salinar is getting 4th, Bushlight 5th. Kurt is down there in 18th, so he will not score any points and will lose out after leading the championship.
It'll be a big what could have been for the Aston Martin driver.
Muller as well, who was in 3rd, didn't score any points. But yeah, in this final race here, Carlin will take the win over Driver, who did have the fastest lap, and Simmer will be will round out the podium. 4th is Von Salinar, so a great result for Hot Wheels Racing. And then Bushlight gets 5th, Alexander 5th, Mamiya 7th, Alexander is 6th. I spoke there. Johnson 8th, I Go Quick at 9th, and Savage in 10th. And then our non-points finishers, we have Angelic in 11th, Splits in 12th, Fox is 13th, followed by Pilgrim. The 2 Ferraris in 15th and 16th are Mouse and Toast. 17th is Muller, 18th Kurd, 19th Pablo, and the 20th is Oslins.
So that was a heck of a race to finish the season. Obviously, as Zoom pointed out, Simmer will be our driver champion for Formula 3, with Kurd there finishing 2nd. And then actually, what did Pilgrim?
Pilgrim scored no points this race.
Pilgrim scored no points, so he will be staying at 88 there, which means
I believe
basically
the
Muller
top
and
3
Driver will tie for 3rd.
Yeah, so then it goes to who has more wins as the tiebreaker, which I believe gives the edge to Lady Driver with 2 wins over 1 by Muller.
Correct.
So Simmer, Kurd, Driver is your top 3 for Formula 3.
So congrats to those drivers and to the rest of the field as well. We're going to move right on to Formula 2 though. We have some stuff to decide there, but I will let you guys talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to get everything set up.
Yeah, Formula 2 is, there's a bit less to decide. As the top two in the championship have been set since last race. Late for Bingo, your Formula 2 champion. Popcat, your vice champion. Which means that if we have a battle, it'll be the battle for third place between Xavi Venegas, Felix van der Buysen, Jackson Seil, and Dalton Kanders.
Yeah, the real the fight here in F2 is going to be the Constructors' Championship. I believe... actually, I'm trying to do the math in my head on how many... I think 3 teams can possibly get first.
45 points is the maximum you can get for a team.
45, so let's see.
25 for first place, 18 for second, plus 1 for fastest
40.
lap, and plus 1 for pole.
So 47. Wait.
No.
No, you're right. 45.
45.
So yeah, only the top 3 teams can get first. Aston Martin's max is 218, and Ferrari's currently at 224. So it is a 3-way shootout.
But McLaren with 1 driver, basically. Let's not sugarcoat it. Might be hard for them.
True. Actually, I think that puts it essentially out of reach of them. Maybe I think they could tie Ferrari if Ferrari doesn't score any points.
I would say potentially Maple Stroop could overtake McLaren for a second place here.
On who?
And don't count out Aston Martin, getting into that second, third battle. And Mercedes is right there as well, so it's not over.
Yep, definitely looking.
And we will keep an eye out on the third place in the championship. Just like that.
All right. Saying that, let's get into qualifying.
Let's go.
Looks like Van der Buysen will be the one to lead them across the line.
Van der Buysen, Seil, Maldonado were the first ones to cross the line and are in part of the little pack ahead. I think they're followed by Dadley and Topalo.
Yep, I think I see Popcat in that group of them as well, though he's starting to fall back.
Yeah, as a reminder, the first reaction track that we had was won by Pierre Dadley. Second was Willie Miller, and third was Jackson Seil. So 2 of those up there bodes well.
Yep, and Van der Buysen will take pole position here.
Absolutely.
Followed by, with a big gap actually to Maldonado, 6.5 tenths of a second. Popcat will be third, Seil will be fourth, so a good showing here for Mercedes, who also have a good chance of jumping up the standings to second or third. And then Gordon Jr. will be fifth for Hot Wheels Racing, Albano sixth, Ray 7th, Topalo 8th, Dadley 9th, and Toth 10th. And then we have Dakari there in 11th, Miller's in 12th, Andrews 13th. Our championship winner in Bingo is in 14th. Wong is in 15th, followed by Utah and Kanders. 18th we have Venegas, Steve is in 19th, and Bergen in 20th. So not a great qualifying by our second and third place constructors of McLaren and Maple Stroop.
And Aston Martin as well. Let's not forget. We have
2, 3, and 4 all not qualifying in the top 10.
Popcat is the only one.
And then Mercedes there in second and fourth. So we could see Mercedes jump all the way from fifth to second here.
Popcat has basically been our qualifying champion this season. 3 poles, showing that he can get a good qualifying on any track.
Yeah, him and Late for Bingo are currently tied with the average of 5.6. place. Yeah,
Ah.
he has got 3 poles, 2 Bingo's 2. But let's get into this race because that's what we're here for. And actually, another thing to note, interesting, Popcat and Sile having equaling qualifying times.
It's true. Yes. Anyways, yeah. Let's get into the race and see what we can figure out here in this constructor battle and these midfield battles too. Obviously, not to leave out the bottom 2 as well, as there's definitely a fight down there, and hoping maybe one of those guys can steal a point here.
All right, and we're off. Maldonado, or Vanderbyzen there starting on the mediums. Maldonado on those softs gets him into the second or third corner.
Interesting though that Popcat and Sile both decide to start on the hards.
Only
same
3
time,
drivers.
same tires. They're ready to mirror one another.
Yeah, slightly longer lap here race in F2 at 24 laps. Should change the strategy quite a bit in terms of just going soft to soft or medium to soft. There's a chance of that 2-stop or the 1-stop if with these drivers on hards.
But actually what we're seeing at the moment is that the harder tire drivers are taking the initiative and going up front there. Both Popcat and Sal taking charge of the race there, as Sal goes off track a little bit for the second time.
Yep, and Topalo actually doing real well up in 3rd and 4th. I believe he qualified down in 7th or 8th.
Yeah, and then Toth, is 16th in the championship and is right there up front.
Yeah, with the trio of McLaren, Maple Street, and Aston Martin not qualifying well, Alpine actually has an outside chance of passing some of them. But I think that would require Andrews also to score some points. He's currently in 12th.
Yeah. I mean, Oladra is pretty much guaranteed to be last in the championship for the constructors, but having a driver fighting there for the win so far is very promising for them for next season.
Yep, as we see currently Maldonado and Popcat fighting for the lead.
Yeah, I think we've had a few lead changes so far between Maldonado, Popcat, Toth, and Sile. I believe Vanderbyzen as well was up there for a bit, but now he's dropped down to 6th. And there's a bit of a pack up front between 2 to 5 drivers at any given time.
Yeah, what are the soft tires looking like right now? If you look at Maldonado, who just passes Popcat for the lead. So just over halfway, as Maldonado does a huge boost of
I did notice that Toth might be a bit further down on their life compared to Maldonado. They were sliding around a bit more, especially on that first left-right corner. It's hard to go off track, but there's a little bit of, I guess I don't know what they call it there, painting there, where some drivers are clipping here and there. Yeah, the runoff in some areas. Some drivers are clipping it just enough to slow down and stop it charge.
Yeah, so the design on the track is actually overlaid, from what I know, on sand. So when they do hit that, you see that come up, and people lose a lot of speed hitting any of that painted area of the course.
As you say that, Maldonado gave us a beautiful example there at
exactly. It's perfect timing.
Second corner there. Lost a lot of speed. As Kansas shows us again. And we do see the first few cars going into the pits there. Miller, Venegas, and Bergen down the standings.
Yep, all choosing a different tire to go on to.
Mm-hmm. And now Popcat will retake the lead of the race from Topalo as Topalo decides to give us another demonstration of the sand.
Yeah, I think Maldonado did as well. Those soft tires are really wearing down. Same with the mediums that Topalo has. be surprised to see Maldonado come in this lap. I think he almost has to with the amount he's moving around.
Yeah, I mean, the other person on softs up front, Toth, is has pitted and is on another set of softs. So very aggressive strategy there by Molatra.
Yep. Maldonado going onto the hards is the second choice.
I don't know if those hards can reach all the way to the end, but
I don't think they will. There's a chance if, with this new update, that they decide to try and stick it out towards the end. We see Popcats has gone just over, going on to his 10th lap now, and they're still relatively, they have a decent amount of wear on them. They're still in that, like, yellowish-orange state.
Yeah, I mean, don't think many of the medium tire runners have gone in. Topalo running decently in second there. Has not pitted yet.
Popcat's still staying out. We'll see if Topalo comes in, and he does. So Style will take second back. Topalo going for the softs. Vanderbijzen in as well. I believe sticking with the mediums for him.
Mm-hmm. So until Popcat and Sal go into pit, Toth is our, I guess, we'll have to see where they come out compared to Toth, but yeah, Toth is closing that gap, so would be the virtual leader when both pit.
Yeah, I think it would be close with Popcat. He's about 5 seconds. But we'll see what the pit difference here is.
Yeah, but Popcat's hards are really worn at this point as well. You see at every corner that...
I really think he's going to come in this lap.
I believe he has to.
If I were the owner of Ferrari, I would call him in, but...
he drives by his own accord.
Yeah, he does, and as those
took a
down,
brutal sand trap there. Lost a lot of time.
Yeah, we're down to 3 seconds now to Sile, and Topalo, they're getting a penalty, but Toth does get past Sile.
Yeah, well, the group of Toth, Topalo, Sile is really the one you have to watch out for at this point. And Popcat does go in now, as the group of Toth, Topalo, and Maldonado will go by. Sile has gone into the pits.
Popcat and Sile looks like they both go onto another set of hards, going for the one stop.
That's a bold strategy. It will work. Like they'll get to the end. That's not a problem. The problem is the state of those hards towards the end is going to be a lot worse than a second fresh set of softs for probably the Topalo, Toth, and Maldonado group.
Yeah, they did go.
Toth goes in for an early pit stop again there.
Yeah, they went on to
hards
with 13 laps on those initial set of hards, so they have 11 to do on these the second sets.
Toth was not happy with that last set of softs because they went in and back on hards now. It's a very strange early pit stop there, but okay. So now Topalo is your effective race leader, followed by Maldonado. Popcat third, Vanderbijzen fourth, Toth fifth, Deli sixth, Sal seventh, Gordon Jr. 8th, Albano 9th, and Andrews 10th.
Yeah, so let's see. Bingo's there in 13th, trying to get some points and maybe hold on to second in the championship. Where is Maple Street? Wong is in 14th, and Venegas is in 18th, so they're even behind him. And then Aston Martin, Utah, again 14th, and Canders is in 17th. So kind of that just outside the points is all of our second through fourth teams.
As it stands, Ferrari wins the Constructors' Championship, but I believe Mercedes might actually climb all the way to second with the points they'd be getting from this race. because at the moment they're second and sixth, which would mean 18 would bring them to 188, and sixth is.
I think they would get third.
Yep. 6 would get you 8 points.
Yeah, so Sile needs to climb.
They'd be 1 point short of. They'd be 1 point short of McLaren for second as of now.
Yeah, so if Sile can climb back up, or if Maldonado there can catch Popcat, who has retaken the lead, as Topalo has pit again for another set of softs.
Yeah, that set of softs might help him, but he's going to be much further down. I mean,
Maldonado is coming into the pits for a set of softs on his hards. He pitted pretty early to go into the hards. I think he started on mediums.
Yeah, and now Toth is in second place. This is the race between everyone and Popcat. That runoff off of turn 1-2 there is absolutely brutal. It keeps getting drivers. But yeah, Topalo, very aggressive, is already back up to second. Will those softs give him the grip that he needs to catch up to Popcat?
Yeah, the gap is currently 4 seconds, as both their tires are wearing down.
We're just below 4 seconds now. 3.69.
Paulo essentially needs to take a second out every lap and then pass him.
It's not unfeasible, especially if Popcat's worn older hards, keep clipping the runoff at turn 1. Oof. He took the entirety of the runoff there, as his teammate actually helps Topalo not hit that by bouncing off of it. That gap is close to half of that already.
Yeah, we're now down to 2 seconds left. Popcat really needs to pass Ray here, who has been holding him up this lap.
This time Topalo takes a lot of runoff. Maldonado and Sile are running 3rd and 6th, which will not be enough to overtake McLaren as it stands. They really need that 2nd place and 5th place. Oof. Popcat has a rough one there, but still holds a 1.4 second gap to Topalo.
Yep, on this last lap, Topalo will have to have a big final section to catch Popcat.
And with 1 corner left, I mean, Popcat is going to cross the line and will secure the Constructors' Championship for Ferrari.
Yep.
Topalo will come in 2nd, Maldonado 3rd.
He closes the gap to Bingo there for the championship, but isn't quite enough. Needed a way to score 40 points this race. The consistency of Bingo was just too much this season for him.
Yeah, and we saw it in how Bingo's TP was applied. Is he decided to not go into reaction tracks at all and heavily invest everywhere else, and it paid off.
Definitely is. Bingo here will finish in 15th and still be celebrating with donuts at the end. So yeah, Popcat wins his third race of the year for Ferrari, securing that drivers or the constructors championship. Followed by Tapalo for Alpiner. Good result for them, getting a podium. That's actually his second podium in 4 races now. So, as we've mentioned, they've had a great end to the season. Maldonado there in 3rd for Mercedes, followed by Van der Buysen, Toth, and Seil in 6th. Dadley is in 7th, Gordon Jr. 8th, Decari 9th, and Albano 10th. Just outside the points, we have Andrews for Alpiner in 11th, Wong is in 12th, Miller 13th, Ray 14th, our Drivers' Championship Bingo in 15th, Utah is 16th, Venegas 17th, Kanders 18th, Bergen 19th, and Steve 20th. So big old Ferrari sandwich here in Saudi Arabia.
Also, I believe the 2 drivers relegated from F2 will be Bob Bergen for McLaren and Kwame Dakari for Moladra. We didn't really talk about those as they are... Actually, no, wait. Dakari got points here.
Yeah, Dakari.
So it'll be Ray.
Ray didn't get points. Therefore, Bob Bergen and Gritty Ray are the ones that will be relegated. Although I believe, if I am not crazy, both of them have been released. Well, actually, Gritty Ray has been released as an inactive, and I suppose Bergen is going to have the same thing happen to him. It's a bit of the fate of the first 2 seasons.
Yep, right. So another good race. Toth getting the fastest lap there in 5th to wrap up our F2 season.
Yep. Congrats to everybody there in F2. As we move forward here, typical schedule of events here. Going to get F1 lined up. If you guys wanted to chat about what we could be looking for excitement this race as we come to the conclusion of season 1.
Yeah, so F1 is on paper looks like it could be a very exciting and fun final race, but looking on it. So on paper, both Brooks and Hennessy have a chance at the Drivers' Championship with a gap of 16 points. So not likely for Hennessy, as he'd have to win or get 3rd and have Brooks not score points. But looking at their ratings, the most likely outcome is that none of them score points and they are in the bottom 10. And Brooks will go on to win the championship there in like 14th.
Yeah. I mean, other than the battle for the championship, we have to talk about real quick battle for 3rd place as well. Michael Sedey, Furious Chicken, Jimmy Raikkonen, 2 McLarens, 1 Maple Stroop. All 3 have the opportunity still to get that first of the rest spot behind the 2 Ferraris. Speaking of Ferrari, Ferrari has won the F1 Constructors' Championship pretty handily, almost a 100-point gap over McLaren. McLaren has secured 2nd place, and Maple Stroop has secured 3rd place. I believe that Aston Martin has almost secured 4th place, so there's not that much to play in the upper half of the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, though a lot to play there at the 5th through 8th, and even 9th. All can move around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And same there in the middle, kind of your 6th, 7th in the drivers through 10, 11, all are real close and could swap a lot of spots this.
And I mean, the other thing that we need to talk about is the relegation battle. So Ricky Bobby, who has already announced his retirement, is the lowest one, so technically he takes one of the demotion spots. Above that, we have a 19th Ferrari Strategy, 22 points. And above that, we have A. Jobin, 25 points. So Ferrari Strategy is an inactive at this point, but, depending on how they've invested their TPE, could still spoil the party for someone like Jobin.
Looking at the ratings, I don't believe that'll happen. Jobin is one of our top-rated drivers in this circuit, which could be part of the reason why he is down here at the bottom, as again, reaction has only been used now in the second race, but could help out next season. And yeah, let's get this 2-lap qualifying underway. If you're ready.
So who do you have for the poll?
I'm going to give it to one of the Hood brothers, as we see Paul Hood here lead. Both of them are rather good, and it kind of gives me a 2-for-1 deal on guessing.
Yeah. So the last time we had the reaction track poll was by Jimmy Raikkonen. Second place was Jeff Lewis. Then it was Mateus Carvalho and Puff Carpentier. Those were your top 4. Pure Hood was actually 5th.
Yep, Paul Hood will take provisional pole, though it does go into the wall a little bit there.
In fact, both Hood brothers are up front, at least on track up front. We'll see if that means actually on time, since the second lap starts at different times for everyone else.
Yep, I do really like that in Formula One.
Paul Hood does improve and will actually make it an Aston Martin front row.
Yeah, we have a Hood 1-2 here in Formula One. As Paul will take pole over his brother Pierre. I assume they're brothers, not cousins or something. But yeah, and then third place we'll have Lewis, followed by Raikkonen, putting himself in a good spot to possibly get third in the Drivers' Championship. Burkhardt is in 5th. Bobby, our current last place driver, is there in 6th. There is the chance that he does take himself out of relegation, though it is not likely with the amount of points he has scored. We have Carvalho in 7th, Jobin there in 8th, again fighting for his F1 career. Selleck in 9th, Bass in 10th.
I believe for Bobby to get himself out of relegation at this point, Jobin would have to score 0 points, and Bobby would have to win
and have the fastest lap. So possible. You're saying there's a chance.
Well, obviously, very happy to see Bobby up there, mostly because I'd like for every driver to have scored at least 1 point. But yeah, our championship leaders, Brooks in last and Hennessy 2 spots ahead. Chicken, 4th in the championship, right in the middle of them. Ferrari's not very good at reaction, and that's another point missed for Hennessy to close the gap.
All right, saying that, let's get to our last race of the season.
As lights go off, both Hood brothers will launch off pretty well. Will be challenged by Lewis. Lewis will pass one of them in the S's, but is it like Pierre will have the inside, but Lewis has more speed and is now in a sandwich of Aston Martins. And Paul Hood using a whole lot of turbo to stretch that lead early on, stay away from everyone else and force them to come at him, which I believe is now led by Lewis, Raikkonen, followed by Pierre Hood and Burkhardt. 2nd through 5th are all on those hard tires, whereas Paul Hood is on softs. Further down, Hennessy has gone up 1 spot to 17th, and Brooks has gone up 1 spot to 19th. Chicken is relegated to last. Raikkonen will take the fastest lap of the race so far with a 30.62. Raikkonen currently running second, starting to close that gap on Paul Hood. Pierre Hood, though, has fallen down to 6th place. So those hard tires are starting to... Well, they're not starting. They're struggling to get up to temperature. But we see the same issues as in Formula 2. That first corner is going to get a few drivers early on and stop any sort of gap closing or just lose your lead. But I believe that those hard tires are now starting to get up there with Lewis down to half a second behind Paul Hood. And Joben is now in third, making those soft tires work really well. We see everyone in the top 4 get that runoff area penalty. It's actually very entertaining.
Yeah, I've seen a lot in this F1 race. A lot more drivers have been hitting that runoff there after turn 2.
It might have to do with the speed of the cars, as we see Paul Hood there get a penalty for, I guess, cutting the track or something.
Yeah, I think it was because he was on the track, and it was Joben and Raikkonen there who went into the runoff, and it might have been for like blocking him in.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. He pinched him off there in the runoff, and he accumulated that penalty.
With Lewis well in the lead up there. Joben Raikkonen behind him. Those softs, Joben is not able to utilize them as he wishes, but yeah, like there takes our 2 soft runners in the top 6 are just hitting that runoff and are losing all the time to gain elsewhere on the circuit at this point. Just because of that one corner and maybe the one right after the hairpin, it might be just worth to go hard and then put a soft. That might be a viable strategy this race. What do you guys think?
Yeah, because what did Popcat finish? Did Popcat go hard?
He did.
Popcat did hard to hard, yes.
Yeah, so keeping as much grip as you can as long as possible. Even if it costs you some time elsewhere, that might help you stay on the track.
Meanwhile, the Ferraris have decided to battle it out at the back of the field.
Right now, they're just making them celebratory laps at this point.
Yeah, we're just taking it easy.
Making sure to leave constructor points for everyone else, as they stole them throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, we don't want it to seem that we were too much faster. We want to make it so they don't change the regulations on us.
We will. Even
though I think most cars are almost identical at this point. A couple differences, but.
Well, our soft tire runners have pitted. What remains up front are the hard tire runners. So 10 laps in, Lewis, Raikkonen, Pierre Hood, Burkhardt are your top 4. Joben and Paul Hood are now fighting for 5-6. Bass is in 7th. Bobby in 8th, Carvalho in 9th, and District 10th.
Yep, as we see Lewis come into the pits here from the lead of the race, Raikkonen will take over.
And that's the first of our hard tire runners up front that goes into the pits. So how much longer will the other drivers go? And it also gives us a good estimation as to hard tires will last about 11 laps. Where we might be in for 3 pits. I don't know.
Yeah, with the 34 laps, I think we're going to see a decent number of 2-3 pits. Maybe 4 on some real aggressive strategies.
Oh, Jobin with a brutal exit there on the runoff, getting pushed by other cars behind them. Further into that.
Yeah, Pierre Hood, they're actually taking some damage. We haven't seen too much there. Raikkonen's got a bit as well.
So Raikkonen gets the runoff there, and Lewis, after that weird collision, will take second place. Paul, who... No, is that Paul or Pierre? It's hard to see. Pierre is in the pits with Raikkonen.
Yep. Yeah, both of them, I think, kind of lucked out. They started on the hards, took a lot of damage there, but were able to make their first pit, so they didn't have to make an extra pit stop for damage.
And actually, Pierre Hood comes back on hards again, so they went to lap 13 on those hards. If they can do that again, that's lap 26, and nothing stops you from going softs or mediums to finish the race.
Yeah, could work out well for him.
But up in the lead of the race, it's a battle between Jobin and Lewis, as they are now battling lapped cars. So Delatorre and Hennessy, they're kind of impeding their progress, as they are literally like neck and neck on some of these corners. But Lewis will cross the line in first place this lap. Yeah, at this point, the medium tires are starting to slip up. How are Lewis's tires looking like? So Lewis, who started on hards, has a bit better tire life than Jobin's mediums. But, they'll probably go in the pits at around the same time, maybe lap 18-ish, I want to say. In terms of championship points, this race does not mean too much at this point. Bobby Brooks looks almost guaranteed to get the inaugural F1 champion title, bar anything absolutely bonkers.
And currently he'll be winning it from last place. So he's probably just driving by waving to the fans already with halfway in this race.
At this point, But Bobby is now in 10th place, so good for 1 point. Jobin doing a very good job, and actually Strategy as well doing a decent job in 9th place. So our bottom 3 drivers are all in the points as of now. That might still change as we go down the laps. So while we are at just past halfway, I'd like to remind our listeners that off-season will begin as soon as we finish with the broadcast. Give us the time to check everything, but Season 2 will begin right after the broadcast with the off-season and the opening of free agency. Do you guys have any ideas as to what we might have?
I think that if there's anything that's going to force some of the movement, it's going to be, you're going to have some relegated drivers retiring, so that's not going to be an issue per se. But we have the promotion of Bingo.
That is something very interesting because both Raikkonen and Sedek have had really solid seasons, right? The one is third in the championship, the other is fifth as of before this race, and now you have the F2 champion there. What will happen? Because do you keep one? Do you decide you let one go to free agency? All we know is that Bingo next year has to be in Formula One.
Does he? I'll be honest, I looked through the rules and I didn't see a required promotion. only required relegation. So maybe it's something we add. But
I'll let Wally clear that up. There are some rules that haven't been updated, I suppose, that in the rule book itself, but sometimes it's not about the law, it's the spirit of the law and the rule of cool. But back to the race at hand. Jobin has a 4-second lead over the Hood brothers. Jobin running those softs. The Hood brothers both running the hards. Bit of a gap there for Jobin. Raikkonen comes in 4th, Lewis 5th, Burkhardt 6th, Bass 7th, Carvalho 8th, Bobby 9th, Dietrich 10th. But the positions keep changing left and right. The battle behind is making Jobin's job a lot easier up front as he continues to increase that gap over Pierre Hood. But Jobin does come into the pits now with 11 laps to go and will come on the hards, actually. So that will mean probably going to the end with those tires. And he comes back right beside Paul Hood in 2nd place now.
Yep, Jobin has done a great job for himself, putting him in the position to possibly win this race. He's right behind the leader now, Raikkonen, who will have to pit again. And those hards will be able to take him to the end of the race.
If we look at Raikkonen's tires real quick.
I know Raikkonen did also pit somewhat recently, so yeah, he's got decently set medium, so he'll be able to go on to softs for the end.
Well, those mediums are, so Raikkonen might have to pit towards lap 30, I want to say. And then just go all out on softs. Raikkonen does want to win again on a reaction track, but he also, doing that would actually bump into 139 points as of now, and that would be good enough for 3rd in the championship.
Yep, with his team Selleck down there in 17th, not scoring points.
Brooks, Hennessy, Silic, and Chicken are all outside the points as of now. Raikkonen is the only one in the top 5 scoring points.
Yeah, our top 4 in the championship are currently the bottom 4 in the race.
As Bobby comes in for his final pit stop, comes back on mediums. He is really going to try and push for his first and last points in his F1 career. But Jobin has retaken the lead. He's built a 3.1 second lead over Raikkonen. Raikkonen has himself a 2.5 second lead over the first of the Hood brothers, and the second one is a further 6 seconds back. So, not as intense as Formula 2 in terms of battling for the win, but entertaining nonetheless to see different drivers up front.
Yeah, it's great to see Jobin fighting for this win right here, as this will be his first podium. His previous best finish was at 7th in both Austria and Japan. Yeah.
Now, one interesting thing, though, is if Jobin wins this race, he'll be our 10th different race winner in 15 races this season. So, not many drivers winning more than one. Which is great.
And I think, let's see, if he wins here, we'll only have 1, 2, 3, 4, if you count Topalo drivers, not get a podium all season.
I do not really count Topalo due to the situations when
he
went down. He was in 2 races early on. I don't believe that's a fair shot. But yeah.
So 3 drivers then will not have gotten a podium.
Yeah. And this is what we want to see, right? We want to see variety. We want to see more drivers fighting for those positions up there. And we consider that Jobin's best finish this season was a 5th place back in USA. After that, he's got 2 7th places and a 9th place. That's his single-digit finishes. So yeah, good on him for going for that win. And now his lead is over 8 seconds. He can cruise basically and not,
Yeah, Raikkonen has pitted for those softs, and he is just now getting past Pierre Hood. He was stuck by him for probably a lap and a half.
Yeah.
And yeah, 9 seconds I don't think is a big enough gap.
The one thing is Raikkonen needs that win for 3rd in the championship, whereas 2nd place is only 18 points. That will bring him up to 132, potentially 133 with the fastest lap. But yeah, if he doesn't finish first, he finishes 4th in the championship. If he finishes first, he gets 3rd in the championship.
Yep, and he has cut the lead down quite a bit. We're down to 6.5, as I think Jobin is in traffic, and Raikkonen had quite a bit of free air there. But we currently have Raikkonen trying to pass Jobin's teammate. So it could be some assist there coming from Devil to hold Raikkonen back.
I think the biggest assist is the current cars that are behind Jobin, I'd like to say, because there's a big pack of them there right behind him. And that's going to be a bit of a wall.
As we say that, they are passing Jobin and beating him up quite a bit in the damage category. Raikkonen's down to 3 seconds.
As Jobin starts the last lap. So Jobin versus Raikkonen, the gap is closing fast. But is it too little, too late? There's one more runoff area right here where Jobin could go bad, but he does negotiate it safely. This one is more of a safe one. Might hit the wall. Down to 2 seconds, but there's one corner left. Raikkonen is coming fast. It's under 2 seconds. It's almost down to 1 second, but Jobin will hold on and will win the Saudi Grand Prix. Raikkonen will come in 2nd, and Paul Hood will lead his brother for 3rd.
Here's Burkhardt, who is, in all purposes, coming out of the preseason races. He was the one to beat.
Yeah, Burkhardt went with a more balanced build this season, and I think that ultimately hurt him because he wasn't lead, in the lead group of any of those races, and might be something that works in the long run, but knows in the early run.
So yeah, we do have Jobin with the win and the fastest lap. A good amount of points for him, followed by Raikkonen in 2nd. Not quite enough to take 3rd place, but he will finish alongside his teammate there in 4th. So we do have a 1-2 for Ferrari and a 3-4 for McLaren in the Drivers' Championship. And then we have Paul Hood taking the 3rd podium spot, followed by his brother Pierre. Lewis is in 5th, Burkhardt 6th, Carvalho 7th, Bass 8th, Bobby 9th, scoring his first points in the final race. So we do have every full-time driver in Formula 1 scoring points. And then strategy there in 10th. Destruc is just outside the points in 11th, followed by Ree, Devil, and Carpentier. Shettle is in 15th, Selleck in 16th, De La Torre 17th, Hennessy 18th, Chicken 19th, and your driver's champion of the first F1 season in a 20th. He was just there to have fun and to not get fined.
Yes, exactly. To earn all of his pay.
Yeah.
go back up to the top 10 real quick. I don't think anything really changes for the top 3 in the end. So Bobby Brooks does win the Formula One Drivers' Championship. Aaron Oshak Hennessy finishes second. Michael Senig is going to finish third. Jimmy Raikkonen jumps Furious Chicken at the end to take fourth. So it's a 1-2 Ferrari, 3-4 McLaren. Furious Chicken will finish fifth.
Yep, and we'll get those the rest of the standings updated. We can see who where everyone finishes. Who knows? Maybe we can have an award ceremony or something there after we figure that all out.
Yeah, so in talking about award ceremony, one, congrats to everybody on the season. First season, always going to be learning curves and growing pains. And from the league management standpoint, I appreciate everybody rolling with the punches that's come out. Super excited for the coming season as we continue to grow, but most of all, as we continue to make it a little bit more smoother. As with anything new, we always are looking to make it better. In saying that, though, this off season, next week, we will have a release of the schedule, which we'll do live on the YouTube channel, and so that people can start planning their builds heading into race 1 of season 2. We'll have an award ceremony next week as well. As well as there was one other thing that I'm forgetting, and I'm sure I'm gonna end the broadcast and I'll think of it right away.
Well, on my side, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the streams. I'd like to also say that if you have any feedback on how things have been run this season, everything, just drop a whisper to either Wally or myself. We do want to try and make this, bigger, better, in spite of the limitation of the sim engine. And I don't have much else to say.
I would like to say thank you to our guys that jumped into the booth. Obviously to Zoom for doing a lot of it, but for people like Red Cape, I know Leatherneck Mike stopping in. I know I'm gonna forget. Koa stopped in, but absolutely thank you to everybody that helped with the broadcast, because without that, we would just be watching a bunch of video game engine sounds running in circles basically at that point. Yes.
With that said, thank you everyone for watching, and let the off season begin.
Thank you guys, and have a good night.
Yep. See you.